Anyway, alright guys, I am going to be making a video on the scariest Paldean Pokemon of all time. Now you may be wondering, why am I starting off with Paldea first? Well, since Gen 9 is almost coming to a close, I might as well just get it started and get it over with. And no, this is not thoughts on all the Gen 9 Pokemon. That is until 900 subscribers, so just waiting. So yeah, I'm not making that now. Anyways, we're gonna be just gonna be talking about the Gen 9 Pokemon, what I think about them. And this is basically a top list. So let's start. One is with Veluza. Now, Veluza is not disturbing itself, but it's just its signature move. Now, I'm just gonna make its signature move is basically Fillet Away. It has the Pokemon Fillet itself alive for a stat boost. Yeah, its Dex entry described this as, and its Scarlet Dex entry says when Veluza discards unnecessary flesh, its mind becomes honed and its psychic powers increases. The spare flesh has a mild but delicious flavor, so it discards its flesh to basically become stronger, basically, which just to become a little bit faster. Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that. You would think you would want to do that because you're a weak fish, but hey, it's doing it. But one thing, and yeah, it's weak to dark, and it's not a strong one. So just one sucker punch can probably take this thing out. So yeah, Melissa has an excellent regenerative, but its Violet Dex entry says it has excellent regenerative ability. It sheds spare flesh to get boost its agility, then charges at prey. That's what it does in the overworld. It charges at you by letting out its cry, which its cry animation is literally leashing its flesh off of it. It's even doing it in its official Dex entry picture. So yeah, but I know it's not as scary. But like I said before, we are gonna keep going. The next one is Bombardier. Now you might be asking, why is Bombardier scary? It's basically what it does. I'm not sure. Bombardier in the Nightmare Fuel for the TV tropes page on the Poke Nightmare Fuel on TV. The Nightmare Fuel page for the on TV tropes for the Pokédex says Bombardier is a twisted version of a delivery stork. Yes, it is. It's a dark type also. It drops rocks down on unsuspecting passerbys, and the type Bombardier particularly dumps huge and very dangerous boulders. All why? Because for its own amusement. All for the evils at this point. And yeah, it definitely does do that for no reason. I'm not sure why it does it. And we're gonna read its dex entries. It gathers things in an apron made from its shed feathers added to the Pokemon's chest feathers, and then drops those things from high places for fun. And that was its. I think that was its Scarlet entry. The Violet entry says Bombard uses the apron to bundle up food, which it carries back to its nest. Enjoys dropping things that make loud noises. And yeah, I'm not sure what's so scary, but it only just drops things on people's head, dangerous things, a giant one. I don't know why this point was here. I might as well just get rid of it, but who knows? We're gonna keep it. Okay, so this might be okay. Next one, we have Tinkaton. You might be asking, why is Tinkaton scary? It's what she does. You know, even the Nightmare Fuel Pokédex for the TV trope says, well, at first glance, it's humorous that the cutesy looking Tinkatuff and Tinkaton chase after other steel type Pokemon. Looking at it deeper is rather disturbing. And what do you think I did? I did when I first heard that. The Tinkas are essentially hunting Pokemon to use their hides as material for their hammers. Not only is it having even a single chip fatal for Poniard, but the Pokédex specifies that Tinkaton is Corviknight's natural predator, implying that it likely eats a predator, which means it probably eats the bird's insides, and once it's stripped his metal wings. So it's so bad that unlike other breeds, Paldea doesn't have Corviknight as its taxi bird because Tinkatuff and Tinkaton will knock them out of the sky. This is what we got to pick with, and yeah, that's pretty disturbing. Honestly, it's funny, but it's really disturbing that like he just takes it. But I mean, she has to do what she has to do. And those big hands, yeah, they look like they can definitely rip people apart. I'm just saying, I'm not here to justify it, but it's a bird. Yeah, but she needs to eat and needs to feed her younglings, and they need hammers to defend themselves. Because and also, funny enough, uh, there was a point on the Fridge Brilliance page about the Gen 9 Pokemon saying that Tinkaton and Corviknight do not have super effective moves on each other. So basically, they can't hurt each other. Tinkaton is basically, at the end of the day, an ambush player. But if she went up close to Tinkaton, she couldn't do anything about it. She relies on knocking people out of the sky. So yeah, that's basically what I said. Yeah, and oh boy, it's pretty funny that. But if you want to know what her dex entries sound like, I'll read them, and I'll just read them. Okay, we'll read them because why not? And it's a this intelligent Pokemon. Its Scarlet entry says this intelligent Pokemon has a very daring disposition. It knocks rocks in the sky with its hammer, aiming for flying Corviknight. And its Violet entry says the hammer tops 220 pounds, yet it gets swung around easily by Tinkaton. Strong arms, as it steals whatever it pleases and carries its plunder back home. Basically, it's a Pokemon that can just do that. Okay, the next one is You all know this was coming. Bramblegast. And I used Bramblegast in my second playthroughs in my Violet version, in the Scarlet version of the game. So I might as well just... Now, Bramblegast is a Tumbleweed Pokemon. This is the fully evolved version from Bramblin. Yes, and the way you get Bramblegast is you have to evolve it by walking with Bramble 1,000 steps, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember, but that's what it said. So Bramblegast is a living tumbleweed, which doesn't seem so scary until you read the entries together. And on rare occasions, mass outbreaks can really bury entire towns. And what does it do in that game? So it feeds by enveloping its prey, sucking out their life energy, then spitting them out when they're completely drained. And I'll just read its dex entries, because why not? Yeah. Its Violet entry says it will open the branches of its head to envelop its prey. Once it absorbs all the life energy it needs, it expels the prey and discards it. Its Violet entry says Bramblegast wanders around arid regions. On rare occasions, mass outbreaks of these Pokemon will bury an entire town. And yeah, it will basically... What did it do to the people the town it buried? Killed all those people, probably by envelop. And it looks like it's really pointy, so it doesn't like a really nice thing to be getting killed by, I'll tell you that. And it's a Tumbleweed. Finally, we have a Tumbleweed Pokemon. Okay, I'm going to combine all the Treasures of Ruin in this one point, because the Treasures of Ruin can deserve their own video, but I'm just going to briefly talk about them, because why not? And I'm going to read their dex entries. And so you read their dex entries, so I can explain these things. It's horrifying things. And I'm just going to read. First off, we're going to be starting on Woke Chain, the snail thing. The grudge of a person punished for its Scarlet entry says, the grudge of a person punished for writing the king's evil deeds upon wooden tablets has clad itself in dead leaves to become a Pokemon. Yeah, this thing is basically, and that's why it has Giga Drain. Why it has Giga Drain in its default moveset. It drains plants' lives away. It's basically a walking wasteland. In fact, all four of these guys are. And next Pokemon is Qianpao, the white leopard thing with the sword teeth. This Pokemon controls 100 tons of fallen snow. It plays around instantly by leaping in and out of avalanches that it's caused. Yeah, this thing is also consumed by wrath, and I'll read and that's what I think it's in its Violet entry. So if you're consumed by wrath, so I'm just gonna read it. And now the first deck was the Scarlet entry. The Violet entry is where things get really interesting, and we finally know about it. The hatred of those who perished by the sword long ago has clad itself in snow and became a Pokemon. So it was made of hatred. It's basically what it is. The next one is Tinglu, this deer thing with the cup. Yeah, it looks like you could drink fruit punch out of him. Alright, but that may seem silly, but his dex entry is not funny. The fear poured into an ancient ritual vessel has clad himself in rocks and dared to become a Pokemon. And that is what Tinglu is. He is a deer made out of fear. He's basically a deer consumed filled with fear. That's basically he is. But this time he is scaring people away. The deers are usually easily frightened, but he is scaring the people away. So get ready for that. Okay, the and its violent entry says it slowly brings its insanely heavy head down upon the ground, splitting the earth open with huge fissures that run over 160 feet. It's funny that he learns fissure at a very late into his evolution, very late level. So yeah, I'm not sure. So that's interesting. But he should have had that as a default moveset. And the last, but certainly not least, is Chiyu, the orange fish. And he might say, I was surprised people actually like that guy the most. But I'm going to talk about him because why the heck not? And his Scarlet entry says, it controls flames burning at over 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. He casually swims through the sea of lava it creates by melting rock and sand. So this is a fire fish, literally a lava fish. And he doesn't seem like, but he's weak to water. It's hilarious. But let's talk about it. But what is he really made of? He's made of a envy. The envy accumulated with curved beads that spark multiple conflicts as cloud itself in fire became a Pokemon. So he's a green-eyed monster. Literally, his eyes are literally green. And all these guys are dark. So Tinglu is basic. So Wo-Chain is grass dark. Qianpao is ice dark. Tinglu is ground dark. And Chiyu is fire dark. And they're basically 4 deadly sins that you should never do. And I think that it's it. And there's even more. And that's not even the last of it. You might think, am I going to talk about the Paradox Pokemon? No. We might briefly mention them, but there's something really haunting. You have Annihilate. Annihilate is the final evolution of Mankey from Gen 1. Now, there has been so many dex entries that talk about Annihilate going crazy, being so angry that he dies, and this is literally what he does. He becomes a Revenant, which is the humor of and that's the insane part. He also has Super Saiyan hair, which is hilarious, which is kind of funny, but also really awesome. But he's also looks like Akuma from Street Fighter, or more, I don't know where he's. Yeah, that's basically what he is, Akuma from Street Fighter, if he was a Pokemon. Yeah, very similar. And you know, this guy's signature and Annihilate's signature move is Rage Fist. I'll even read his dex entries to get it out of the way because I know you all want to hear it. So you guys want to hear it. So and Annihilate is Ghost Fighting. So just make sure you understand that because oh boy, this is gonna be a really long video. Next. Its Scarlet entry says, when its anger rose beyond critical point, the Pokemon gained power that is unfettered by the limits of its physical body. And its Violet entry said, it imbued its fists with power of the rage that kept it hidden in its heart. Opponents struck by these imbued fists will be shattered to their core. So he punches your spirit, literally. Yeah, that was a very literal term. But again, this is just something else. Dilate. Okay, next is Greedivore, which he drains your souls. He doesn't mean to do it intentionally. He does it on accident because that candle does it. Yeah, like he's basically a malevolent version of Litwick, basically. And yeah, so that's something you need to know. And that's all the Pokemon I want to talk about, except for the Paradox Pokemon. I'll briefly mention them. The Scarlet Pokemon. Evil Primal Beast. The future Pokemon are basically evil robots, creepy evil robots. That's all they are. So that's basically all of them, and that's in a nutshell. But I'll make a video about them, so don't worry. And that's it. That's everything I wanted to talk about. So yeah, all right, guys. Good night.